We good to go?
Yes, okay, I'll go.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kristen Rogers. I am the chair of the Harwood Unified Union School District. Thank you for joining us. We start each meeting with public comment. Anyone from the public can speak on a school-related matter they would like to. Each speaker is given up to 3 minutes. Usually, we are able to hear from everyone that would like to speak. If for some reason you have more to say than time allows, I'm sorry, I skipped some lines. I'm sorry. If for some reason there are more speakers than time allows, I will draw names. At the 2.5-minute mark, I will let you know you have 30 seconds left. And at the 3-minute mark, I will let you know your time is up so we can move on to the next speaker. If you have more to share with us than 3 minutes allows, we invite you to email the entire board at cen-huusdboard@huusd.org. Please know that while the board does not respond during public comment, we do always listen carefully to what is being said. If you are on Zoom and would like to speak, please click on your raised hand button. And Ray, I see you, so I'm going to promote you to panelist. Did that? Let's see, did he not make it? Okay, there we go. See, I am not seeing anybody in public comments, so we're going to go ahead and move on then. I would be looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Is there a second? JB, okay. Is there any objection or abstentions to approving tonight's agenda? Okay, not hearing any or seeing any, that will pass. So we have just a couple of, this is a special meeting, so we have just a couple of items. So the first one is going to, the first action item we have is to approve column D of the FY24 maintenance plan. And we do have a suggested motion language for that. If somebody would like to make that motion. And you just have to yell out because my screen gets small if anybody wants to make that motion.
I can make the motion to approve, this is Bobby, to approve column D of FY24 of the maintenance plan. Is
there a second?
I can second that motion.
Okay. Discussion, questions. In the agenda was the hyperlink to the column D. So I wasn't sure, did anybody have any questions? Ray is here. So any questions, just go ahead and throw up your hand if you have questions. Danielle?
Is that budget inclusive of the kitchen? It's still in there. So I just wanted to make sure that since we voted on that last time.
Yes, it is.
Mike? You can go ahead.
Can you hear me okay? Okay, so I'm going to vote for this, but I think that it's something that we should keep in mind. This is a lot of money that to come out of our reserve fund. And my concern is, and I'm not rehashing the kitchen, even though everybody knows I didn't vote for it, is that at some point, decisions like that are going to come back and bite us. And I'm concerned that we didn't get more bids. And one of the things that I keep going back to is this architect firm. And I grew up in Burlington, great firm, has done lots of great projects, have been involved in lots of great projects. But I'd be curious to know what we've paid to them over the last 5 years, what we paid to them and what projects have actually turned out to be something. Because I think we're paying them a lot of money not to really have any projects that come to fruition. And I realize that there's been a lot of different activity over the last 3 to 5 years. but I bet you we've paid them a ton of money. And I'm wondering if that is a hindrance that certain companies won't put in bids because that this is the architect firm. Just like in any other profession, there's lots of politics. And if we're not going out to bid with this architect firm, I think it's something that we need to address in the future, because I'm just wondering, one bid only came in. I'm just wondering if there's other politics involved, where, you know, people don't want to, you know, work with this company or whatever. So anyway, just something to think about in the future. And because we are going to be spending a lot of money, and it is concerning.
Thanks, Mike. Any other questions, comments, need clarification before we would vote on this? Throw your hand up or go ahead, Leif.
I found the discussion at the last meeting where we talked about this really helpful, and especially the piece where anything at $40,000 or over will come back to us for another layer of approval. Because honestly, like looking at column D, I'm going to vote for this as well, just in general, because I know that there's stuff that we just need to keep moving. But I'm kind of thinking of it as voting for all the stuff under 40,000. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking we're going to have to make some tough decisions at some point on some of these individual projects, because just looking across, you know, at that bottom line of spending 3 million this year, just recognizing that that doesn't feel necessarily like it's going to be responsible, and also that that number could very well go up by the time we're getting estimates. So thanks to Ray and the admin team for doing the work and for helping us understand that the kind of multiple phases of this approval process.
Ashley and then JB.
Sorry. First, I think what Mike just said is probably really relevant. I have, long before I was on the school board, I went to some meetings, probably 7 or 8 years ago, the first round of Warren School's renovation, and that was Truex Cullens. And I remember being like aghast at how expensive their fees are and their work. And I know it's complicated, and I know they handle a lot of stuff, but I think that I want to move ahead with the kitchen with this bid, because it seems like the cost of things is so quickly on the rise that it makes sense. But I agree that maybe in the future we should, maybe look to bid the architectural work out to more than just them. I also just wanted to double back for when in our discussion about the kitchen. When I forgot my phone at that meeting, and I got back home and I got a text. I had been texted by Cheryl Jocelyn, who is the cook at Fayston and is kind of like the rock star gardener cook lady who really is that program. And I know that everyone is very protective of her and her job, and there was a lot of discussion about how is that going to work, and are we really going to flip flop and go from having one school cook to the other school cook, and we don't fix the problem. Well, I had a brief text exchange with her and asked her to come talk to us, because it isn't going to be like that. It really is a collaboration. Both kitchens will be used every day. They're not going to move certain things. They'll just move like main dishes. It's not what it is now. So it really put my fears to rest that we were just doing what was, we were just switching which school got cold food. So it isn't. And I'm hoping in the near future, Cheryl will come and share what that's going to be like. So I'm even more confident that it's going to be great.
No, JB first, and then
Well, yet again, Ashley, you take most of the words right out of my mouth, so I appreciate that. But also piggybacking on what Mike said, and having my experience over the last 3 years with all the construction in neck of the woods and here at the town of Waitsfield, and the projects that we're pursuing, I too would like to see us revisit how we approach the bidding process, whether it's Truex Collins, and also perhaps finding some other outlets to put out the construction bids for. I think it seemed we were a little bit limited in our scope, what I've been able to catch up on as far as the kitchen is concerned. So I think we should certainly revisit that process going forward. And I also second Ashley's comments on Cheryl. It would be good to get her in to a meeting and have a discussion with her.
So Bobby and then Kelly.
Okay, and JB and I wrote to him this afternoon, but following that meeting, I was chatting with Mike and he suggested that we do ask for it to be an agenda item. So I have put in a request that a discussion with the district cooks be on the agenda and some sort of presentation. It had never occurred to me, because it's always been school by school with the cooks. When we became one school district, it kind of opens up other possibilities because we have many kitchens we're serving and how that's organized and how it works. But some of the schools have been able to accommodate and continue basically their same programs. But our smaller schools, are looking at, so I think it'll be a great discussion. I'm hoping, we'll be discussing the agenda item at our next meeting and then from there. So anyway, that I just wanted to mention that and I will turn this over to Kelly.
I lowered my hand, but I didn't unmute. So thank you. I just wanted to remind people that we did put the bid out to 10 people for bidding on, and only 2 businesses responded. So it's not like we were very selective in who we're putting the project out to. So a lot of businesses are already booked well into the year and into next year. So I guess I just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
Mike, and then Mike, superintendent, and then Ben.
And just 3 comments to respond to some of the questions from board members, Kristen. One is that the board can always engage in a request for proposal process for architects, and that is good to do every so many years. But I would recommend that if the board wished to do that, that we do that before we go too far down the road with the high school bond issue, because you want to get an architect involved early. They've already been involved, so there would be some pros and cons, but that's something the board could weigh through that process. I also did want to point out too, at the next meeting, to Leif's comment about bids, items of certain cost will come back to the board. We have the roof bids will be coming to the board at the next meeting next week. So that's something that you'll consider there as well. And then to the questions about the kitchen, Lisa oversees the food service program. Erica Dolan and Paul Morris are the directors for the district. So she did ask them to share the specifics of what the plan would look like, and we can either have them come to the meeting, or Lisa can report on that, and I can certainly talk to the board leadership about that.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment and say, I've been following board meetings now for anywhere from 5 to 8 years, and I just want to say what a difference this board feels like, and what this path feels like. It feels like we're making some kid-centered decisions, and that feels great. It also feels like as we move forward, we're making prudent decisions about, how can we sort of fine-tune our decisions moving forward, thinking about both costs, but also people that we're going to be using moving forward for different projects. This feels hopeful, and I just want to keep that sort of in our purview here, just because I'm thinking about sort of future projects and future dreaming. And one of the things that keeps coming to mind is if we're sort of in this lockdown of, gosh, we have to keep plugging holes. And what if we lose everything tomorrow? We're not going to be able to serve the needs of this community, and we're not going to be able to serve the needs of our children. So I really feel good about this, the kitchen, but I also feel like this is a good first step into sort of the future of what we're building here. And I just want to congratulate this board and congratulate this district in these new steps toward the future. This is fantastic.
Thanks, Ben. Mike Bishop, before I go to you, is there anybody that hasn't spoken yet that would like to on the motion of approving column D maintenance plan? Okay, Mike.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify just my earlier comments about my concern was just with the architect firm. So back to what Kelly was saying, I respect that there are 10 approved companies. I just think that I've personally been, so I'm in real estate, I'm a realtor, and I think that I've been to enough networking and cocktail parties and whatever else to know who's friends with who, and certain people are involved, the other people don't want to be involved. So as a checks and balance board, I think it's prudent that we get out there and do that. And then the other thing is, last comment, Ashley, I totally love you. I think this is a great discussion. I've heard a lot of opposite of what you're saying. So I think that if we had the kitchen staff come in, maybe that would make everybody feel better. I don't think it's going to, but we'll see. And I'm not against that. So I would totally vote for that. So thank you.
Okay, any last questions, clarifying anything before we go ahead and vote? Okay, we'll bring up the tally sheet. Okay, so the motion is to approve column D of FY24 of the maintenance plan. Ashley? You're muted.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Bobby?
Yes.
JB?
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Jonathan Young is not here. Jake is not here. Ben?
Yes.
Marlena is not here. Life?
Yes.
Tori?
Yes.
Danielle?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
And Kelly. Okay, so that will pass. So you're good to go, Ray?
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so the last action item is to approve the co-principal, and we have a motion language for that. Would anybody like to make that motion? And you'll have to unmute. Again, I don't have a full screen, so if somebody
I can.
wants. Okay, go ahead, Ashley.
Okay. I make a motion to approve Jen Duran as the co-principal of the Crossett Brook Middle School effective July 1st, 2023.
Is there a?
Second.
This
Okay.
is Mike Bishop, second.
Okay. Oh, geez, I'm like, okay. So we'll open up to discussion questions. I just want to thank the interview committee or interview committee. I know that when you take on an extra task like this, it's a huge time commitment. So I really appreciate the hard work you guys put into it. So does one of the committee members want to talk a little bit? Mention anything? Anybody? I wasn't on it, so I don't know. I don't know.
Cindy, Life, and I were on it as board as board members, and yeah, it was great to be able to interview Jen, and she really seemed to have a great understanding for restorative practice and MTSS and curriculum, and just seemed like she would bring a really great collaboration with Dwayne. We had a lot of great candidates, and so yeah, I'm not sure if Cindy or Life, you want to add to any of that, or I think I feel like it's been well received in our district, so that feels really great. And anything you two want to share?
I would just ditto what you said. I've spent a fair amount of time with Restorative Justice Committee in Waterbury and in Montpelier Justice Center work, and was really taken by the work that she's done in that up in Lamoille. And I think that right from the beginning, I thought she would be like a breath of fresh air. She's a little bit younger than some of us here, and I appreciated the work that she put into her application and spending the time with us to give us a chance to get to know her a little better. So I'm part of the gang supporting her. Yeah.
And I'll just ditto that as well. I think, restorative practices are very much in line with equity, which I think was really important to the committee. Jen also has experience with trauma-informed practices and culturally responsive practices. And she's both been there as a learner and provided professional development around these things. So she'll be great for working with the teachers, and then with their curriculum expertise. That's a need there as well. So super strong candidates, and I think any of them could have made a great leader there. And we just, she was just the best fit for that school at this time. I'll also just say that because they were all so strong, it was a really hard process. It was intense. The discussions were amazing. The committee was incredible, including the student representative. And just kudos to Mike for facilitating a really, really equitable, thoughtful process, that even though there was a lot of give and take throughout, at the end, I think everybody felt good about. So I was honored to be part of it.
Anybody else have questions? Feel good to go vote? I mean, like, not go vote, but vote.
Actually, I did want to just follow up with what Life had said. We did a considerable amount of community engagement, I felt like, and really engaged with the student body and the staff at Crosset Brook, as well as the community of Crosset Brook, and asking, like, what is it that you're looking for in a new leader? So that was really exciting to be able to get their desires and wishes and what they were looking for in their school. So again, thank you, Mike, for helping to facilitate that as well. But go ahead, Cindy.
Yeah, and one other thing too that I had brought up a bit ago, and we talked about the issue of this being now a co-principalship, and it was very important that Dwayne was both on the committee and spent a lot of time on the whole search process. I think along with Mike, I think the two of them worked together closely to find somebody that they felt that he would feel that he would work well with in a partnership, in a co-principalship, and I think that was important also.
Excellent. This is all great to hear. So if everybody is good, we can go ahead and vote. Okay. So the motion is to approve Jennifer Duran as the co-principal of Crosset Brook Middle School effective July 1, 2023. Ashley.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
JB.
Yes.
Cindy.
Yes.
Jonathan's not here. Jake is not here. Ben,
I would like to abstain.
okay. Marlena, I'm sorry, she's not here. Sorry. Life,
Yes.
Tori,
Yes.
Danielle,
Yes.
Mike Bishop. I'm going to call you Mike Bishop forever. Yeah, it's Mike Bishop.
Somebody actually said that Mike and I look alike. I could be his brother or son or something at one point. But I am definitely voting for it. Yes.
And Kelly. Okay, that will pass. So that's great. We have our co-principals for the school year. That's awesome. So last thing is communication. Kelly and I will do that communication because it's super easy. And we have our regular board meeting for next week. So I'd be looking for a motion to get out of here.
I'll
I make
make
a
that motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay.
We'll see you all
I
next
see you,
week.
Jake. Okay, see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.